As Army's football squad charged into a new season, these young men knew their mission was to play and win as a team. With more than 100 years of tradition behind them, their battle cry would be Army football, a team together. The 102nd season of football at West Point introduced new head coach Bob Sutton. Gone were 15 starters from last year, including all-time rushing champion Mike Mayweather. But Army's wishbone formation remained a nightmare for opponents, with veteran quarterback Willie McMillan at the controls. In the season opener against Colgate, McMillan led the Black Knights to scores on their first 5 possessions. Army's wishbone offense was running near perfection under its new leader.
He's going up hard. He steps that way. I think you're going to end up with him blocking him this way. That guy's out there. When he comes through, the shoot's probably going to be on his outside shoulder.
McMillan would gain a powerful 170 yards on the ground and score 4 touchdowns. Army's total offense soared to 530 yards. Senior Arlen Smith joined this offensive explosion as the Cadets scored more than 50 points for the 4th time in the past 3 years. It was an exciting way to begin the 1991 season. When sophomore linebacker Kevin Zarnecki regained possession for Army, McMillan again showed his ability to outrun a defense, earning him ECAC Offensive Player of the Week honors. The senior from Sierra Vista, Arizona, was proving to be the focal point of the Army attack. On defense, the Cadets returned only 2 starters, including number 99, senior Lance Chambers. These young defenders proved to be quick, aggressive, and coached to find the football. By the end of the season, the biggest offensive line ever at Army would become the foundation of the 4th best rushing offense in all of college football. On this memorable Saturday in early September, Bob Sutton realized a dream. After 8 years as Army's defensive coordinator, Sutton won his first game as head coach. It was the beginning of a new era in West Point football. When the North Carolina Tar Heels of the Atlantic Coast Conference visited Michie Stadium, the Black Knights greeted them with some typical Army defense. Following a scoreless opening period, the Cadets showed the punch that would pound out 301 yards total offense. But Patman Malcolm's kick for a second quarter lead was not destined to hold up, despite a gritty defensive effort. And 138 yards from Willie McMillan, now among the top 6 rushers in college football. Army controlled the ball for much of the game, but a late touchdown fell short, and the Cadets dropped a close decision to North Carolina. As Bob Sutton brought his Army squad into Michie Stadium to face Harvard, little did they realize that this day would produce one of the most thrilling come-from-behind victories in recent West Point history. It all began as Army's defense surrendered yards only grudgingly, interrupted Harvard's offensive schemes, and eventually forced a first-period turnover grabbed by Chuck Gibbs. With possession, the Cadets wasted little time. Adrian Oliver broke an 81-yard dash to the end zone, the longest run by an Army back since 1980. The visitors were stunned by this versatile senior from Texas, who had played split end, halfback, and return kicks during his 4 years at West Point. Following Oliver's sprint and some leather-popping hits, the afternoon began to turn frustrating for the Cadets. The Crimson managed to score 3 touchdowns on the Black Knights, but that was minor compared to what happened early in the third period. As quarterback Willie McMillan tried to twist around end, he went down and out for the year with torn knee ligaments. When his season ended, McMillan was 6th in the nation in rushing, 4th in scoring, and 17th in all-purpose running. Facing a 13-point deficit that would carry into the final period, Bob Sutton turned to the team's leading receiver to take over at quarterback. Senior Myron Williams seized the opportunity, as all cadets are taught to do, and engineered one of the most heart-pounding comebacks ever. Running the option to perfection, Williams advanced the cadets through Harvard's tiring defense. Halfbacks Adrian Oliver, who would finish with a career-high 173 yards, and Arlen Smith sparked an 85-yard drive. 9.5 minutes to play, and Army needed one more touchdown for victory. First, the defense had to do its part by stopping the Crimson.
Got it? Now we got to get a turnover down at their end of the field, get right to the field. Everybody got it? Get a turnover back down at their end of the field, okay?
No turnovers, but simply solid, well-coached defense that stymied Harvard's attack. Less than 5 minutes remained as Army calmly prepared its march to victory.
They're hitting it and want to take it out. We got to protect it, run hard, still get the extra yards and protect the ball, okay?
Do never, ever panic. Just relax. We're okay. We just got to come out and execute in here.
Okay, we got to move the ball, run hard, and go, okay? Let's just suck it up and get going, okay? Offense, let's go. All right?
2nd down and 8 as Williams rolls out to that side. Pitches back in there to Smith. He's going to get down. Midfield. First down at the 48-yard line of Harvard. Myron Williams, the quarterback. Second man through is Smith. 45-yard line. Breaks it across the 40. Down to the 37. From the 30. 25, 20, 50, third, 10-yard line. Out of bounds. That's Oliver. And it's a give outside. Williams. Kings is going to go into that line. On the left side. Touchdown. Myron Williams around the left side. Everybody went for the misdirection inside. Williams danced around the far outside. Army had 6 and it's 5. The snap. It's down. It's up. It's down. Army 21. Harvard 20.
The comeback was complete when Harvard's final fling was picked off by cornerback Duncan Johnson. And this Army squad showed how teamwork could overcome adversity and proudly win a major triumph. For the next 2 weeks against Rutgers and the Citadel, the Cadets offense adjusted to its new quarterback and continued to roll up the yardage. The team-oriented success of the precision wishbone attack kept the Cadets' rushing game among the top 3 in college football throughout the first half of the season. With offensive linemen like Mark Escobedo, Steve Shalhoub, Aaron Scott, John Perron, Dan Menendez, Jason Giles, and Mark Dawkins clearing the road, Army had at least one 100-yard rusher in each of its first 5 games. Determination, quickness and intelligence key the wishbone, and the Cadets turned each of those qualities on opponents during their drive through the 1991 season. On defense, interior lineman Lance Chambers, Dan Davis, and Kevin Walker formed a powerful inside force. Sideline to sideline linebacker play unleashed the talents of Rick Pressel, Mike Playa, Trey Gilmore, Jason Miller, John Beatty, and Kevin Zarnecki. And in the secondary, Chuck Gibbs, Duncan Johnson, Mike McElrath, and Kyle Peebler made opponents pay when they tried the overhead route. Gaining experience with each outing, they were playing hard-hitting, make something happen defense, Army style. Following a pair of setbacks, each by less than 7 points, the Cadets invaded Louisville, where their versatile option attack seemed to confuse the defending Fiesta Bowl champions. The game plan was to test the Cardinals' secondary and try to score quickly. The strategy worked, as sophomore Chad Davis finished a 65-yard drive on Army's initial possession. Then Bob Sutton called a perfect surprise. Williams found Monty Tomasino deep and alone for a classic 65-yard touchdown. It proved to be a day when Army's wishbone rose to peak performance. Quarterback Williams, a pre-med student and battalion commander in the Corps of Cadets, ran for more than 160 yards. He was the heart and soul of an attack that gained 505 total yards. Another impressive fact on this offense: once inside the 20, they scored. Including this game, Army converted 19 of 21 opportunities when inside their opponent's 20-yard line. Army's defense had a field day, plundering red jerseys, and for the third consecutive game, did not surrender a touchdown in the second half. Sophomore Kyle Peebler set up camp in the Louisville backfield. And classmate Kevin Zarnecki pulled in a stray aerial that led to another Cadet touchdown. Cal Thomas and later Chad Davis wrapped up the Black Knights scoring. And Army returned home with a convincing 37-12 triumph at Louisville. For the next several weeks, Army's team togetherness was not enough to overcome their inexperience. The Cadets never conceded to anyone and battled each opponent with a character and spirit that would carry with them to future fields of strife. Qualities of leadership and courage that have served Army teams over the years fortified this squad throughout some very disappointing games. Part of the traditions that enliven Army football are the tailgating festivities that precede each game. These fans have been and always will be a very important part of a football weekend at West Point. On this crisp, sunny November Saturday, the Cadets were determined to recapture their winning ways against Akron. Digging deep within themselves, the squad rose to meet the challenge. Late in the opening period, Myron Williams climaxed a methodical 78-yard drive. The Cadets would not allow themselves to be outplayed. When Arlen Smith zigzagged in for the touchdown, the Black Knights had more than enough points for victory. visitors were powerless against Army's surging defenders like tackle Dan Davis and linebacker Aaron Fogelsaw. Constant, unyielding pressure and big plays like Kyle Peebler's interception allowed the Cadets to throw a shutout at their opponent. When Chuck Gibbs finished the scoring with a dazzling 54-yard punt return, the Cadets regained some respect from a frustrating year. The seniors would say goodbye to Michie Stadium with a 19-0 triumph over Akron. The Cadets' regular season annually ends with the nationally televised Army-Navy Classic. These two service academies have played for more than a century in one of the most talked about, tradition-rich rivalries in college football. The yearly struggles, of which the Cadets had won 5 of the last 7 prior to 1991, epitomize the resolve and character that is instilled in each West Point football player. They compete for the love of the sport and leave every ounce of energy on the playing field. This young and injury-plagued squad had battled through a very emotional year. They finished the season with a determination to do whatever it takes to return to prominence in 1992. To embody the Army concept of a team together.